Here's a test that I did years ago with all of the oxides in the Thompson painting kit, plus a few mason stains, and then mixtures of all of those down in here. Once again, I was testing over 5 different opaque enamels, most of which are not available anymore, so that's one of the reasons we're doing this new test. So mixing these oxides is a little bit different of a process. It takes a little bit more effort to get the oxides mixed than it does to mix the mason stains. The mason stains are just so user-friendly. Okay, so that's oxide 85. It's a red-brown. And it happens to be one of my favorites because if it's very thin, you can get a really pretty flesh tone with it. Okay, and what I like to use with this is squeegee oil. Let's see if I can't get that in there. There we go. Is squeegee oil. That's the A4 from Thompson. It's quite a bit more viscous than the thinning oil, which we just used. Which we just used with the mason stains. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of oil and our oxide, and mix that until it looks like an oil paint. So you really need a palette knife to do this because you can't get it creamy enough just by mixing it with a brush. All right. So you can see that you can get a very distinct line with this, and I think it's the combination of the squeegee oil and the oxides. So part of the trick will be to see how well these hard lines hold up when we fire this on these different opaques, because we'd really like to have these opaques hold up well underneath the oxides and mason stains so that they're a good canvas to paint on. So, alright, and one of the qualities that I really like about the oxides and squeegee oil is that you can thin them down even more. These are the particular materials that Larissa Podgorets uses, but she's an absolute genius with this stuff. She makes painting with oxides look so easy, and everything she does is so beautiful. Okay, so this is very similar to what I was doing with that sponge dauber. But you can see that if you were painting a figure, that to be able to use this particular technique while you're painting a figure would be quite effective. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with a little bit more of this down here, because then once again we'll be testing across all of those colors. Alright, so I'm going to also repeat this with black, because I find that on some enamels the oxide black turns green. And I want to know which of these enamels it will turn green on top of. And I'm cleaning this with alcohol. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up a little bit of the black. This is the OC50. Okay, I'm going to mix quite a bit of the squeegee oil into this black now to try to make it more transparent. Actually, I could use a little bit more of that. Okay. So those of you that are seasoned enamelists, every time I spill oil or touch my desk with oil on it, you probably are like, oh my God. So this kind of stuff is a perfect example of stuff that you want to keep completely away from your enamel desk, because if you get this on your blanks while you're firing your base coats on, you can come up with some really ugly contamination. So do as I say and not as I do here. All right. Okay, now I'm going to use alcohol to clean this brush up.